Hi, my name is Rebecca from engVid.com. In today's lesson, we're going to learn 6 idioms that have to do with dreams. All right? Now, what is an idiom? You probably know, but just to review, an idiom is a combination of words that together mean something different than the words mean individually. All right? So let's understand what these idioms are. You need to be able to understand idioms because people use them quite often in conversation and also in writing. But remember, the rule about idioms is don't actually use it unless you're really sure how to use it, because otherwise it sounds a bit silly. But it's still important to know them and to understand them, and maybe at some point to get to the stage where you can actually use them in your own conversation, which I hope you'll be able to do soon. Let's get started. First one, it was a dream come true. Now, what I've done in all of these is to use them in a sample sentence which doesn't necessarily give away the answer, but let's see if you can figure it out. What is a dream come true? A dream come true is when something is so perfect, so beautiful, so amazing. We say, oh, it was a dream come true. For example, how was your vacation? Wow, amazing. It was a dream come true. I loved it. Okay? So it's like a good dream that actually happens. But we can't analyze it that way. You just need to understand that the expression, a dream comes true, means that something was amazing. Next, I wouldn't dream of it. What does that mean? I wouldn't dream of it. Well, this means that something is so silly or improper that I would never do that. So I wouldn't dream of it means I would never do that. I would never do such a thing. Okay? For example, if somebody says, oh, are you going to always be my friend, or are you going to stop being my friend when I'm not so rich? Oh no, I will always be your friend. I wouldn't dream of not being your friend. I really care about you. Something like that. Okay? Next one. It was like a dream. Again, this is a complimentary, positive kind of idiom. How was your vacation? It was like a dream. Okay? Which means perfect, wonderful, great. Usually, dreams symbolize something strong and positive when they're in idioms. We do have another idiom. It was like a nightmare. A nightmare, of course, is a very bad dream. So that's when everything goes wrong. You can say, my holiday was like a nightmare. That's different. But now this was a good holiday. So we say it was like a dream. Next is an expression which is a little bit sarcastic. Sometimes someone says to somebody, in your dreams. When does that happen? Or dream on. Let's say that two good friends are driving through a very expensive neighborhood, and they're looking at these amazing mansions and huge houses that are on both sides. And one of them says, wow, I'd like to have a mansion like that. I'd like to be living in a house like that. And the other friend says to him, dream on, or in your dreams, which means, yeah, really, it's just a fantasy. I don't think it's really going to happen. Okay, he's not being mean. He's just being a little bit sarcastic. And that's how we use something like that. Or if someone says, oh, what an amazing actor he is. I wish I could date him. So the other girl says, oh, yeah, in your dreams, really. Okay, that's an example of how we use something like that. A little bit, we're joking with people. We're not trying to be mean. Okay, next. It was beyond my wildest dreams. Again, this is like, it was like a dream, but this is even more so. It was more than. Beyond means more than my wildest dreams, my most crazy dreams, my most imaginative dreams. It was beyond my wildest dreams. What could be beyond your wildest dreams? I don't know, anything. Your wedding day. Maybe you had always dreamt of something beautiful and your wedding day was actually even more amazing than that. So you could say it was beyond my wildest dreams, all right? And the last one is, I've left a blank here and you'll see why. It's a dream something. So that you could say, for example, it's a dream car. It's a dream computer. It's a dream house, right? It's a dream vacation. So here you put in whatever it is you're talking about, and what it means. If you said it's a dream computer, means it's an amazing computer. It's a fantastic computer. You love it. You think it's great. So then you say it's a dream something directly without saying it's like a dream. You just say it's a dream computer. It's a dream holiday, or it's a dream job, right? All right. So here are some idioms about dreams. Let's see if you remember them very quickly. Let's review. I wouldn't dream of it means what? I would never do that. How do you say, oh, really? You know, maybe in your fantasy, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. How do you say that? In your dreams, or dream on. Not both, okay? One of them. If I say it's a dream hotel, what does that mean? Well, it's an amazing hotel, right? If you want to say that something was really amazingly wonderful, you could say it was a dream come true. And another way to say that, it was like a dream, a little bit less enthusiastic, but still very nice. And it was beyond my wildest dreams means amazingly fantastic. All right. So a lot of them, as you can see, are really positive. This depends on degree, how positive. So if you'd like to do a review on this, please go to our website, www.engvid.com. And if you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Good luck with your English. Bye for now.